When creating a survey, it's important to consider your survey questions, themes, and key metrics. By analyzing all of these components, organizations can identify patterns, track trends, and make data-driven decisions. Our survey templates are carefully designed with all of these things in mind. However, if you're going to build a survey from scratch, it's a good idea to break these down so that you can create an effective survey that gets you the data that you need. So let's dive in. Key metrics are the performance indicators that are relevant to the purpose of your survey. What does that mean? Let's say that you are conducting a survey where you want to gauge customer loyalty. Your key metric would be the NPS. Key metrics are great at tracking progress through time and identifying trends. They can also be used to compare and benchmark results between different groups, as well as industry standards. When it comes to customer and employee surveys, there are some commonly used key metrics out there. For customer surveys, we recommend the CSAT score, or customer satisfaction score. It measures the satisfaction of a customer with a product, an organization, a service, etc. It can be measured with questions about product satisfaction, customer service satisfaction, or overall customer satisfaction. You also have the NPS, the Net Promoter Score, as we spoke about before. The Net Promoter Score measures customer loyalty by asking a question on the likelihood of someone to recommend your organization, product, service to a friend or a colleague. We actually have a video on the NPS metric. You should check it out. And finally, the CES, or the Customer Effort Score. It measures the ease in which customers interact with your organization or perform a specific task. For example, placing an order on your website or solving a customer service issue. This metric can be measured with questions about speed of resolution and overall efficiency. For employee surveys, some of the most important key metrics are employee satisfaction, which measures the degree into which employees are happy and motivated in your organization. This can be measured with questions about if employees feel motivated in their daily work, happy to be employed in your organization, and also look forward to going to work. Another metric would be employee engagement, which measures the commitment and loyalty that employees have, not only to their work, but also to the organization that they work for. It can be measured with questions about if they intend to stay at their jobs, if they're looking for other jobs, and if they're happy to put an extra effort to achieve the desired results. Both employee satisfaction and engagement are often in the report seen as theme averages. Finally, let's take a little tip from the customer ones and use the ENPS. The ENPS, or Employee Net Promoter Score, measures employee loyalty by asking the question of how likely it is that your employees recommend working for your organization to a friend. We recommend that you avoid using an average of all questions as your key metric, especially if you have a long survey. For example, let's say that you have conducted an employee survey for several years and you want to compare the results. If you look at the overall average of your questions and both years are giving you sort of the same score, you might think, or even worse, management might think that everything is fine, we've kept it at the same level, and there's nothing to look deeper into. However, if you were to dig deep into those results, you might see that even though employees' relationships to customer has gone up, their loyalty and commitment to their job has gone down, the latter being more important than the former. So instead, look at key metrics that serve a purpose to your survey. You can always use other questions, open comments, and themes to support those key metrics and find the drivers behind those scores. Themes are used to group scale questions together under an overall theme, and in the reporting, they will give you a score or an average. For example, you can have themes on customer service, product quality, or employee engagement. If you're conducting a short survey, themes might not be relevant to you. However, if your survey is long, consider working with themes. They're especially going to be beneficial in the reporting afterwards. One advantage of using survey themes is that you can capture the comprehensive view on opinions and attitudes on a certain subject. Reality is complex, and trying to measure a broad concept such as leadership with one single question is not good survey practice. Instead, ask several questions to get a nuanced view and get the full picture. For example, when it comes to leadership, asking your employees, overall, how satisfied are you with your immediate manager is not going to give you the same results as supplementing that with, does your immediate manager communicate results in a clear way? Is your immediate manager trustworthy? Do you receive feedback from your immediate manager? And so on and so forth. So try to look at the concepts that you're measuring and break them down into the facets that will give you that entire context. Another advantage of using survey themes is that it makes it easier to interpret the results. In fact, we recommend that you first look at the theme level, and if there's anything problematic, for example, something outside of the norm or lower scores than you normally are used to, then you can look into the questions and dive deeper. Just like key metrics, themes make it way easier to compare results across groups. Imagine that you have 25 questions and 20 departments that need to be compared. You're going to give up before you start. And stakeholders are probably not even want to look at that, really. So instead of having 25 questions, you can have 5 themes, making it comparing it to 20 departments way easier. Customers often ask us, how many questions should there be under a single theme? A good rule of thumb and recommendation would be 3 to 6. But what you really should think about is there a thematic similarity? So what is that? Think about it like this. If a single average score for that theme, would it make sense? Does it represent all of those questions? And does the theme reflect the true meaning of those questions altogether? Are you actually getting the full picture of that theme with all of your questions? If so, you have a theme in your hands. Your survey questions are the building block of your survey. They can be used to measure abilities, behaviors, attributes, attitudes, opinions, and feelings of your respondents. As I said before, if you're conducting a short survey, you're probably not going to work with themes. But if that is the case, you have to pay extra attention when you design your questions. Are your questions gathering and collecting the data that you need to serve the purpose of your project? I recommend that you watch our videos on project planning to learn how to design and write good questions.